What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here on the Odd Chopper channel, coming to you with an MLB playoff edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Goes a long way for me on this video. Goes a long way for you. That way you become a prize whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. I am so back, baby. It was good to have a couple of weeks there. It's tough streets there in the MLB streets as you round out the season. Looking through my bet tracker, just something that made sense. I'm like, you know what? I want to be very cautious about it. I'm very limited. Didn't post a lot of MLB there in the premium Discord because it's really, really hard this time of year, and books inflated that hole. But now we have known variables. Teams are trying to win baseball games, not just playing young guys on bad teams. We're also, getting pitchers with normal allotment of work. We're going to have, 17 and a half outs posted on guys like Valdez and Reagans and so many of these guys. So it is much better here. Obviously survived for the most part the last couple of weeks, but I missed you. I missed you a lot. We are here for the playoffs. MLB Lindy's not inactive. We are active. Producer Jacob, he's excited. I can see it in his face. And, well, this will be great because we got a couple of weeks before the NBA starts up. But we got some home run plays to talk through. We've got some money lines fired up. Got a total I'm thinking about. Not sure what I'm going to do in this first game necessarily. But if you want to know everything that I end up betting, well, it'll be in tails. That is Lindy50 on your screen. You simply fire that up at the link below. Get 50% off your first week or month with me. Lindy50. We're going to be talking a lot of seam here the next couple weeks because it is beautiful to have 4 baseball games, divisional round here, wild card round, on a Tuesday. Oh, throughout the day, we're going to be betting a lot of different things. And there's already some decent things that have popped up as odds are starting to roll out for some of these other unknown games. But $10 for your first week. Come hang out with me for a week. I will show you. MLB playoffs, posted it over on X. Had a really profitable 2023. We're looking to run it back here in 2024 for the playoffs. Producer Jacob. Without further ado, though, let's get to the picks. Yeah, you didn't think I was going to leave you out to dry, did you? Nope, we got Tariq Skubal. We got Framber Valdez. The Detroit Tigers going absolutely berserk. Found ways to win games when they were like sub 5% playoff percentage. Well, 100%, because welcome to the playoffs. You're taking on Houston, who won the AL West, but they are not one of the two teams with the buys. So they got to play this divisional round here. Best 2 of 3 in Houston. Remember that as we're going forward. These are all going to stay in the same stadium. So we're breaking down the stadiums here. We're not leaving them here until the next round, where you're going to see the home and away stuff. But Detroit and Houston, Tariq Skubal, AL Cy Young Award winner. I mean, this is a phenomenal spot for just to showcase his talent. And Detroit, they shouldn't be here necessarily, but they've been doing things differently because other than Tariq Skubal, this bullpen has been the main reason that they've found ways to win baseball games. They've gone to some crazy different bullpen formations, really started back during that San Diego series a couple of weeks ago, and they found momentum with it. And, well, Tariq Skubal, he'll be a workhorse here, I would think, in game 1, but game 2, we could be looking at a lot of split-up innings, and we did a pretty good job of targeting out props a lot during the postseason last year. Don't think I'm going to be firing up Tariq Skubal. I did look at Framber Valdez 17.5, stared at it. I feel like it's just a little bit for my liking. When you're playing best of 2 or 3, yeah, you're going to do everything you can to win the first game, but you don't necessarily, Framber Valdez, if this goes poorly for him, it's going to go really poorly for him. We saw that in the postseason last year, but he has been so much better over the course of the last few weeks himself. You work through both of their individual stuff. This is just such a hard game in terms of props, and it's ironic, too, because it's 2 lefties that are going to go into a short porch with the Crawford boxes out to left. I think there's actually home run props that might make some sense based on where these numbers end up dropping. But right now, pretty unbettable. I'm curious what happens to some of those numbers, specifically on FanDuel, because FanDuel looks like they have the best props right now. BetMGM still waiting to roll some of those out. But I'm looking at the under of 6.5. I know I'm talking about home runs, Eric. Oh, you just talked about that. Look at these guys. Tariq Skubal, 210 expected batting average, 259 xWOBA. But Framber Valdez, he's back to the height of his powers. He's getting the ground ball stuff yet again, 61.7% ground ball percentage, 345 expected slugging, and looking to avenge his terrible postseason last year. Under 6.5, just going to be a lean for me in this one. I think it's the least appealing of the 3 games to bet. I have plays in 2 of these already. No locks that exist on the card for this one, but I think we have a ton of props coming up next. The Kansas City Royals taking on the Baltimore Orioles. Cole Ragans, Corbin Burns fight. It's going to be beautiful stuff. But I've said this so many times about Baltimore. It is helpful to be a lefty in this ballpark. It just plays like a cavern for righty power. Since they elevated that wall, unless you hit it to that one specific tiny little gap up in center left, it is just a cavern to hit it out of this ballpark. And I think advantage Reagan's there, and I'm a little bit surprised. There's a plus 136 on the money line that was just lingering out there over on DraftKings. That's 6-cent difference than the public perception. And then there's a lot of plus 125s at sharp books here in Kansas City. So we're talking an 11-cent difference between sharp books and where Kansas City is listed at DraftKings. So DraftKings specifically, looking at the money line for that one, but I told you, I have props. I think we're going to be kind of attacking Corbin Burnes here in this one. Now, I don't want to go completely crazy because you have to kind of do it with some lefty power. And the lefty power doesn't really exist here in Kansas City, but there's one guy in Sweet Melendez who's sitting at plus 900, and this guy has been starting to hit the ball a lot harder here of late. You're looking at him with a 45.2% hard hit, nearly a 15-degree average launch angle, and a 430 expected slugging. Those all go together nicely for home runs. Not necessarily the case with Michael Massey, the other lefty I expect to for sure be in this lineup from the get-go. He has a little bit of pinch hit concern. Considering you're going to do everything you can to win this baseball game, there are worlds where like a Paul Theon comes in to pinch hit for him or something of that nature. They have some type of rotational accessibility. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. To have Maikel Garcia play second or third. There's a little bit of formations where they can kind of rotate those guys around as need be, and you don't necessarily have to have lefty Massey out there, but I think they want him out there. I'm curious where the batting order drops for him. I think that's kind of my big issue as far as not betting him yet. But said it before, Kansas City money line, plus 136. I give Baltimore respect. They have enough lefties there in that bullpen in addition to the righties that are just fantastic, like Gregory Soto, guys like that. I think they can play the platoon game in a couple of these spots. You've seen Bobby Witt Jr. not as good on the road as what he's been at home by a pretty considerable margin, but still think Kansas City is underpriced here. I'm going to go their side of things. I already bet it. That was my first bet. MJ Melendez, my second bet, plus 900 over with our friends at Bet365. Just want to throw that one out there. And then Michael Massey, Massey. Look at that. I can spell. 0.5 total bases. He's sitting at minus 150. It's just a little bit here, but there's a chance he leads off, and you might want to snipe that number very, very quickly. I assume Fam's going to be leading off for what it's worth, but there might be a world where we see him higher up in the batting order, and I will try to get on that one, but not going to bet it right now. You should be betting this right now, though. Bet 5, get $200 in bonus bets over at Bet365. Again, being able to do this program here for you through the MLB playoffs, I mean, I really, really appreciate it. But if you want to build that bankroll yourself in the NFL streets, in the MLB streets, soon the NBA streets, you got to take advantage of these promos at books. You have DraftKings, you have FanDuel, more than likely. I understand that, but Bet365, if you're in one of the states where it's available, now available in Pennsylvania, in addition to Kentucky, Iowa, Arizona, so many different spots. If it's available in your state, bet 5 and get $200 in ammunition for the MLB playoffs. So it's only for 21 and over. If you have a gambling problem, please call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Alrighty, I'll two more games to get to. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Let's get to it. This is the part of the program that I think matters the absolute most. We had pretty known variables in those AL matchups, but the Mets in Atlanta. Going to recap a little bit of what we saw today because game one was probably the most lunatic baseball game, and it made me kind of inspired to make sure that I was going to do these videos because, again, I had the choice to be able to do it if I wanted to or not. We're in full swing with the NFL. The NBA is coming back soon, but producer Jacob and I also like working, and we also like to bet. So we're going to be betting things and trying to react to news and watching a lot of baseball, so we might as well put the videos out. And this is the most important stuff that I can talk through with you right now. Luis Severino, Freddie Peralta. They have to make these official in 1 hour and 20 minutes. They're going to have the roster. Again, it's kind of a weird thing that happened with the doubleheader here on a Monday. I absolutely loved it, but we saw a lunatic eighth inning that combined 10 runs there, tons of lead changes, goes from 3-0 Atlanta, then swings the other way, and then Francisco Lindor, top of the ninth, doing MVP caliber stuff. He's not going to win it because Shohei Ohtani exists, but it was awesome stuff. So, Freddie Peralta taking on the New York Mets. Why is this all important? Well, the bullpen is completely taxed for the Mets and the Atlanta Braves. In fact, we saw Iglesias, the closer for the Atlanta Braves, pitch both game 1 and game 2 of Monday's doubleheader. Sorry, Arizona, you didn't end up making the playoffs. That thing splitting was almost a foregone conclusion purely because the team was going to completely punt. And hey, Joey Lucchesi had a great outing for the Mets, ate up over 110 pitches. No regard for humanity there, but he did a great job of at least limiting what we're going to be seeing from the Mets. But I want to throw this out there because I tweeted this out. This was a lot of my research to try to figure out exactly what we're paying attention to for tomorrow. Edwin Diaz, 24 pitches Sunday, ironically here in Milwaukee because they just played a series over the weekend. 40 pitches on Monday. He ended up eating up an inning plus, ends up coming in that 8th inning, ends up blowing the save and getting the win. I don't know if I've seen that in a while, but Edwin Diaz, probably no chance he's available. Phil Maton, really good closer for, I guess, setup guy in the 8th inning there for them. 15 pitches Saturday, 23 pitches Sunday, 12 pitches on Monday. What happens with him? And last, Joey Lucchesi, he ended up eating those innings, but you're making way for a bullpen. It isn't very good and has kind of struggled outside of those two guys. In fact, that we've seen some struggles from Diaz and company over the course of the season too. So I think advantage Milwaukee in just about every regard. Fully rested, day off Monday, and you just saw this team for the last 3 days. No real punches being pulled, whereas Milwaukee kind of knew exactly what was going on here. So I like the Freddie Peralta side. I know he hasn't been as good of a starter here, but Luis Severino in the postseason, I think we're going to make him prove it to us, friends. I think this is an opening number you want to jump on because I have a feeling people are going to see what I'm seeing right now. And most of the time I would say, oh, this is baked into the number. No, I think the Mets, just the lineup itself has been really, really solid from a hitting perspective. You're going into Milwaukee, which I think is a ballpark upgrade for them compared to Citi Field. But I'm very much here for Milwaukee. This is currently the one, if you made me pick one play between all 4 games, my favorite that exists, I bet this closes north of -120. Yes, no Yelich. Yes, a lot of other issues, but full access to a bullpen. That's got to count for something. And our last game, question marks? Yes, this is very, very important. The Atlanta Braves taking on the San Diego Padres. And I have to get this video out because, again, I want to go to bed. I'm very tired. Still a little jet lag, but I'm very much here for this question marks right now because Michael King on the other side, I think people know my love affair with this man. I think he's absolutely fantastic. I want to take advantage of this game somewhere, but as many concerns as we have about the Mets, at least we know that Luis Severino going to be intact, Sean Manaea going to be intact. They have ways that they're going to be able to have those starters eat up some innings in a game 1. In a game 2, you're going to do everything you can to win. If you lose game 1, that's just how it works. But Atlanta, they have nobody, and I mean nobody that they can roll out there. Max Fried would have to that's hilarious, pitch on short rest 3 days and have to go out and pitch. I think they're going to save him up for game 2 if you made me guess right now. It would really surprise me to see that, but you have the massive piece of news from today. Game 2 was supposed to be Chris Sale. He got scratched with back spasms, and it sounds like they might not even have him on the roster for this series. That's not confirmed. If he's not on the roster, there are some interesting cats that they could go to. And in fact, I think Ian Anderson, who has been part of the Braves for a while here, and he's been all around the entire league, but had some decent postseason starts in recent years. I think there's a chance that he gets out for his first outing of the year here at the major league level. It could be him, AJ Smith-Shawver. It also can end up being, somebody else that they just randomly and make it or break it game because of that doubleheader that existed on Monday. So I think we want to embrace some kind of uncertainty, but I'm going to try to snipe the line as soon as it drops at a book like FanDuel, where you are getting live action no matter which pitcher ends up getting rolled out. Know the rules of your book. Very, very important. Michael King, I think we will be backing him on the run line here if we do anything. Now, I'm going to kind of wait to see exactly what I'm getting from Atlanta. Have notifications on. If you have notifications to me over on X, I'm going to probably tweet something out as soon as I see that ends up being the case. But know that it's a high priority at +140. This is a ballpark that has started to play a little bit smaller. Yes, it's San Diego, where it's supposed to be very, very nice tomorrow. So relative to some of the other temperatures we're going to see in this series, well, we have a great opportunity to see the weather forecast and have it come in. Whereas, like Baltimore, winds blowing in from right field tomorrow, like 8-10 miles per hour with rain in the forecast. Lots of messy stuff that can exist there. But San Diego going to play clean. And I think Michael King, with a lot of his peripherals, is the side I'm preferring to go for. And then Fernando Tatis, Manny Machado, Jurickson Profar, Jackson Merrill, Jake Cronenworth. This is a ridiculous lineup top to bottom. Xander Bogaerts starting to show signs of life and a 264 expected batting average. But Manny Machado home run purely because of the loft And if you get one of these weak Atlanta starters and those numbers drop to like outside of plus 350, I think Manny Machado is going to be an awesome ad. So I can't even do my normal process of, hey, I'm going to project this number against these starters and then these Atlanta Braves bullpen arms. But without Iglesias in there, that bullpen is going to look disintegrated somehow, some way for Atlanta. And Manny Machado, the guy I trust the most in these type of games to be able to find the long ball here. So anything better than plus 350, I'm kind of doing as a break for like my break-even number. That's what I always do on these. But the run line, I would love to see Ian Anderson. I would love to see AJ Smith-Shawver. I would hate to see Max Fried. So we're going to wait. We're going to wait. That is what we are planning on. And that does it for the first MLB playoff edition of 2024 Lindy's. Hit that like button down below if you enjoyed this content. If you enjoy having me back in the MLB streets, it's great to be here. I'm going to be updating everything and posting it in tails. Again, Lindy 5-0. I take the playoffs very, very seriously from a betting perspective because it's just shown to be one of my best ROI things over the course of the 7 years that I've been doing this, 5 years very seriously doing this. So Bet365, check them out. Bet5, get 200. That is also down below, as well as Lindy 50. Come kick it in the Discord. I would love to see you there. $10 for your first week, $25 for your first month, and we will be covering everything all the way up into NBA. Oh my God. Almost to Halloween, that would get you access for $25. That's pretty great stuff. But thank you, producer Jacob. We're back, baby. Until next time, till Wednesday, gonna be wild games tomorrow. I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the MLB streets on Tuesday.